Hey, welcome back to Get Down to Business, the show all about small business jobs and entrepreneurship. Joining us today is a heavy-hitting financial executive who serves as the head of marketing technology and HR at Gain. He brings an incredible track record of driving cross-functional operations across Fortune 1000 companies and scaling startups, having previously transformed forecasting accuracy from 85% to 99% in Expedia, helped lead Coca-Cola's largest reorganization in decades, and risen from intern to again to senior executive at a $1 billion business at General Motors. At Gain, he has leveraged an AI-enhanced software as a service platform to help drive a 30% cost reduction and 100% revenue growth. Today, he is here to cut through the theoretical hype surrounding artificial intelligence and show us exactly how he saves more than 10 hours per week by stripping away administrative overload to focus on high-impact strategic thinking. I am thrilled to welcome to the show Saul Mateos. Saul, welcome to the program.
Hello. How's it going?
Awesome. Fantastic. It's an honor to have you. You have an elite corporate pedigree, having managed financial operations for giants like General Motors, Coca-Cola, and Expedia. We hear endless theoretical talk about artificial intelligence, but you are literally systematically clawing back 10 plus hours a week from your schedule. What was the initial operating bottleneck that forced you to stop looking at AI as a tech trend and start using it as a critical executive utility?
To be honest, I started using ChatGPT. When was it? Like 2-3 years ago. With I think I don't even recall the name of the model. And honestly, it was to help me with one of my most critical weaknesses. So as you can hear, I have an accent. I'm Spanish, but I've lived in the US for almost 20 years. And honestly, I'm not great at writing in English. That's sorry. My strength is in numbers, not in writing. So I used it heavily back in the days just for writing. And for me, it was like mind bending. And then as I started getting into using more and more and more, I realized that I could do much more with it. So I transitioned to Lovable and started by coding my own applications for my team. And eventually now I'm using Cloud Code and Cloud Cowork for literally everything honestly, both in my life as well as my professional life.
Amazing. And when it comes to financial reporting, cash flow management, and corporate forecasting, there's zero margin for error. How can finance professionals responsibly integrate these automated tools into their daily workflows without compromising the data accuracy and privacy and maybe even some regulatory compliance?
Well, let me talk first about accuracy. And I think there's a misunderstanding out there, which is what's AI. In my experience, one of the strengths of that AI has is to actually help me develop tools that are by themselves deterministic to actually improve reporting as well as forecasting. What does this mean? It means that I'm not actually using AI for forecasting. I'm using AI to create the tools for forecasting and reporting. Then I can add a layer of AI to actually help me understand what's happening with that forecast. But by nature, most of these tools are deterministic, and it's no different than using an Excel. It's actually using an Excel on steroids, and in the end, it's just you're coding with Python. So just wanted to clarify.
No, that's super helpful. I appreciate it all. Yeah, go ahead.
Excellent. Yeah. So, and then from a security perspective, so obviously we have lots of requirements in Gain, and I'm sure like many other corporations. So it's actually super important that everything stays within a safe environment and that nothing goes out to the model and everything is kept private within our own AI tools.
Very, very interesting. And at Gain, you've helped drive a 30% cost reduction and 100% revenue growth. For the mid-market business owners and lean entrepreneurs that are listening right now who assume that they need a massive enterprise budget to build an AI edge, how can they leverage those workflows effectively without burning capital? You just talked about ChatGPT.
Well, that was back in the day. Now I transitioned to Cloud, and I recommend everybody transitioning to Cloud. So I have a finance background. So by nature, I'm cheap. So I don't think you actually need like a massive technology budget. Actually, with many of the with the subscriptions that you have now, no, like the enterprise subscription of Cloud, you can actually for $100 or even less than that, you can actually give everybody in your organization the access to many of these AI tools. And in the end, it's all about helping them and developing them to actually leverage these AI tools. Now, this is like one step, no, which is like how can you actually make AI fluency within the company? And I can tell you, you're going to achieve significant improvements only by doing that. But then the question is, how can actually you start using agents within your entire ecosystem? Obviously, like the lowest hanging fruit is marketing. We all see now all of this. How marketing is like all of these AI tools are super useful to create marketing content, but actually you can use it for customer service. In game, we actually develop an agent that actually scans all of our checks and allocates those checks automatically to our opportunities. So we have significantly improved our collections process. We also are developing an agent that actually is going to help our customer service to address questions by getting access to our SOPs, all of the information. And now it's achieved what we estimate around 80% accuracy rate. We believe that we can go 90 plus very, very shortly. And these are not easy questions. No, this actually requires some serious thinking. And just to be clear, we can do this honestly with like a few $100 a month.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, this is powerful stuff. Again, I'm chatting with Saul Mateos from Gain. Saul has, again, as we've been talking about, leveraged an AI-enhanced software as a service platform to help drive massive cost reductions, massive revenue growth. And we've been chatting about cutting through theoretical hype surrounding artificial intelligence and talking about how he's stripping away, saving 10 plus hours a week. In your framework, how do you draw the definitive boundary line between the administrative tasks that automation should handle versus the areas where human nuance, empathy, and raw executive judgment remain absolutely non-negotiable?
So let me tell you a funny story that happened to me. So a few months ago, I went into the OpenClaw mania, and I actually installed like one agent that was supposed to do all of my work for me. And I remember that I actually scheduled like a grooming for my dog, and then I asked my agent, "Hey, can you please book that calendar invite for me? No, like set up my time." And funnily enough, I said, "Okay, so let me see if it did it." I went to my calendar, and it wasn't there. So I asked the agent, "Hey, what happened?" And he said, "Yes, I booked the meeting or the time for this day in 2025." So the reason I'm saying this is that made me realize that I couldn't trust the AI. Like this super advanced AI was making such a basic error, and but till today it keeps doing this type of mistakes. No, so this is why for me it's very important that if I cannot let an AI completely trust it with my calendar, I'm not gonna let it. I'm not gonna make it trust with my business decisions. No, so this is why when I mentioned about this 80% of accuracy rate, no, for responding to some of our customer inquiries, this what we're forcing here is we're going to keep a human in the loop. So we're going to have all of our team or the team involved in this process to review all of the responses from AI until we feel confident that we can actually have an AI responding to these questions. And honestly, at this moment, I don't think we've reached that point.
Yeah, well, that's a funny story, and I appreciate you sharing that, and that really drives that lesson home for us. You've got a lot of background, Saul, in forecasting and finance, of course, and you understand predictability. Any thoughts on the future of how do you project this technology changing the core competencies required of a CFO or a corporate finance leader over the next maybe 3 to 5 years?
Well, everybody talks, but I don't think I can forecast what's going to happen in 3 or definitely not in 5 years. Look, I have a 15-year-old girl and a 12-year-old boy. I don't know what career advice to give them because I don't know what's going to be important in the next 5 years. What I can tell you though is that what I'm seeing is that a lot of corporate America has a long way to start using AI. What I'm seeing is that the technology is much more sophisticated and advanced than what people are actually doing. So there's like a massive opportunity to start doing AI more and more until honestly, I feel that there's like an opportunity to significantly reduce the size of the teams. I'll give you another example. With AI, I can do stuff like sometimes I don't even have to ask things to my team because it's much easier for me to go to the AI, which we have connected to our multiple databases and actually ask for questions. So where we're going to end up, I don't know. What I know is that definitely I have less needs of hiring, particularly at the junior levels, because I can actually get the answers at the fingertip and I'm significantly much more proactive myself.
So, just rapid fire. I want to make sure you can leave our listeners with maybe the one or two simple, immediate steps that they could take tomorrow to start leveraging this. And finally, if you can conclude by telling us how we can learn more about Gain and get in touch with you.
Well, first, for all of the listeners, AI is more than a chat bot. Please start using Claude Cowork, and that is extremely, extremely powerful. There's like many tutorials. There's lots of YouTube videos that you can use to train yourselves. And look, if you want to know more about me and follow my how passionate my story is about AI, follow me in LinkedIn. Also subscribe to my the CFO Lab newsletter, where you'll be able to see my stories and how I'm using AI to transform what I'm doing. And it's not only about reducing the amount of time that I do; it's actually about being significantly more proactive.
Very, very helpful. Saul, Mateos will link in the show notes. That's a wrap for us this week on the show, all about small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship. Check out my website, syklein.com, to success. Let's get down to business. We'll see you next week.